Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today, we'll Masechtas Avodah Zarah daf Nun Zayin. We are going to begin 6 lines from the top by Hahu Uvda. So we learned in yesterday's daf, and we're going to start off actually by doing a question which we didn't see. Akum shemadad yain biyadai o barago. If you have an akum who measured wine of a Jew with his hand or with his feet, is it mutter b'shtia or is it or bahana? So the Gemara said, "Bein biyad bin beregel is yimacher," which means it's mutter bahana. According to the Tanakam, nasan omer biyad aser beregel mutter. So we see clearly when it comes to hana, biyad is a machlokes, but if he would have measured it with his feet, then it's mutter. When it comes to shtia, bin biyad bin beregel aser. So the whole machlokus is dafka when it comes to getting hana, beregel, but even if he would have measured it with his feet, and certainly with his hands, it would be asr b'shtia, which is why we said that he was trying to find a shita that even maftered shtia. Hahu uvda de havi babiram. So there was this particular story, this situation of that he was dahavi babiram dahahu avikachavim. There was in that location. There was this akum, this idol worshiper, dahavika solik bedikla. He was going up a palm tree. The aisi lavi, he was basically taking palm branches bahade deka nachas, and when he was coming down, naga baraisha deluve bechamra shlo bekavana. So the tip of the lulav touched and hit some of the wine. Now, obviously, his intention was not to do anything with the wine. He was trying to get these branches. So the question is the fact that he touched it alidei davaracher with a stick or something else, and he didn't seem to have any intention to do so, what's the status of the wine? So Gemara says, Shari Rav l'zvune lovikachavim. This is actually mutter bahana, because even though an akum touched it, it was shlo b'kavana. So Amli Rav Kahana Baravasi l'Rav Aho Mar Hudi Yermatinik Ben Yoimo Hu Oise Yain Nesach. I thought even a tinnik who's only a day old, who happens to be an akum, if he would touch the wine, obviously without kavana, because a little 1-year-old doesn't have the intention, nonetheless, it's considered to be yain nesach, so it's a kasha. We see clearly, even without kavana, it's considered to be yain nesach. So Amalhu, Evdi Amarana b'shtia. When did we say this b'shtia? Again, that you're not allowed to drink it. Harba hana miyamri. When it comes to hana, it's mutter b'hana, which is the reason why we said, in this case, that you're allowed to sell it. Gufa. Getting back to what we said before. Omarav, Tinik ben Yomi oiso yain nesach, which is a pretty unbelievable 1-day-old child akum. So if he touches it, then it's considered to be yain nesach, which obviously means that you do not even need kavana for it to become yain nesach. So Esvei Rav Shimi Brachil Rav Halkeach Avadim min Havikachavim. Let's say a person purchases servants from idol worshippers. Shemovu tavu. There was only the bris milah process, but there was not tefillah, which means this person is not this eved is not a full-fledged yid. V'chein b'nei hashvacha is shemovu tavu. So too, when it comes to the sons of maidservants, which all was done was milah, but not tefillah. And as Rashi quotes the Gemara in Yavamis, "L'meinu ger ad sheyimo v'yitbol." So in this situation, it doesn't make any difference. They're not Jews. And Rashi says, why do we mention B'nei Hashvacha? Is Afalpi Shenoil B'Beis Israel, even though he grew up in the Jewish home, the Lo Gadu Ben Avikachavim Boy Mila V'Tfila. You still need also Tfila. Ukishloi Tavla Ima Matchil Kamair. Obviously, talking about where his mother didn't convert. The Tavla Ima, because if she did, Inu Lamu Tfila, then you would need the Tfila because his mother was Jewish, then he converted, and he's already Jewish. So anyway. So what happened? So anyway, what is the din of a person who purchases this type of an eved? So roikan midrasan b'shuk tame. His spit and what he steps on in the marketplace, the din is is tame. Fine. The Yarmul Tahar, some say maybe it's Tahar. So this actually spills into Amid Beis as Rashi. B'shuk afil b'shuk. Shenu tumasin safek, because we know safek b'rshus harabim sfeko tame. Ela tumasin vadoyas. It's considered to be a tumah vadoyas, because it was safek, then we'd be makel. But it says tumah safek vadoyas. It's tumah vadoyas midrabanan. She goes over the chachavim shehu kizav l'chol devreihim. That has the same status as a zav. Okay. How about Yenon? How about his wine? So, Gedolim oisim yain nesach, katainim ein oisim yain nesach. If we're dealing with an adult, so there's yain nesach. However, it's a katan, like b'nei shvachais, so it does not become yain nesach. Which obviously is a question, because we just said that Tinik ben Yoimo, it creates yain nesach, which is even shel b'kavana. But over here it says the opposite. It says that katanim ein oisin yain nesach. Ve'el gedolim ve'el katanim gedolim yodim b'teva v'das kachavim u'misham sheha. So a gadol doesn't necessarily mean, let's see, bar 13 or whatever, or 18. It means someone who actually knows what idol worship is about and its service. Katanim ein yodim b'teva v'das kachavim u'misham sheha. Katanim is, we learn gedolim katanim loy. So how can you tell me that Tinik ben Yoimo is oisin yain nesach? So tirguma abnei shvachais. So actually, you have to read it regarding the children of shvachais, and that's what it's referring to. But if we'd be talking otherwise, you're right. So otherwise, otherwise you would be right. So abahavachein katat kaimer aroikan umidrasan. Now, when it comes to its spittle and it's stepping on, then the din is the same. So anichel man diyamer tame el man diyamer tahamay kamemar. So akamashma abanim dumadim ne shvachais. The point is that an evidence like the children of a maidservant. Mam ne shvachais mavlu tavlu hu de ois yain nesach. However, malva tavlu loy. If they actually did meal and tvila, it's like a yid, and therefore obviously those laws don't apply. Afavadim kain lafukim Rav Nachman. It's coming to exclude the shita of Rav Nachman and Mishmul. The Rav Nachman and Mishmul, halokech avodim and avichachavim avul bishamal v'tavu. Even if there was meal and tvila, oisin yain nesach, he still as an iser of yain nesach ad sheyishka v'chachavim mepiyem. Even if he did everything, you would maybe think he still has to wait for a certain amount of period, like 12 months, until the desire, the thoughts of Avodah Zarah are removed. Kamashmul delay. That no, even once he does tefillah, meal and tefillah, then that is enough. Question 6. Halokech avodim and chachamim shemavu tavlu le'inyan ma yesh chilek l'chad ma'nemer bein avodim v'nei shvachais b'din yenam. So, according to Rav Nachman, avodim afal pi shemavu tavlu, even with meal and tefillah, it still could be yain nesach until it's the desire and thoughts and memories of what is chachavim, which is like 12 months, leave. Ma'ashein kim b'nei shvachais, that we don't say that, because b'nei shvachais, they grew up in the Jewish person's home, and therefore you don't have to wait that long. Rav avadim b'nei yoimin no'isin yain nesach. Even a 1-day-old child is yain nesach. Ma'ashein kim b'nei shvachais, not b'nei shvachais. Rak gedolim hayodim b'tiv akum m'shem shemeha. Unless they're already a gadol. In other words, if we're dealing with an eved, someone who was already engaged in Avodah Zarah, so then we say that there's a din yain nesach even at the 1-day-old. But if it's b'nei shvachos, which means that he was never brought up in that environment, so then the din is it's only an isser of yain nesach if he's already reached an older age, but not at a younger age. Okay, let's look at question TA9. Elu katanim ukuli alma einon oisin yain nesach. Which kids? So, b'nei shvachos. Right? That's the answer. Just push it. B'nei shvachos. Okay. Question TB11. Exactly the same question. Elu katanim ukuli alma einon oisin yain nesach. So again, this is the same question as TA9. This is TB11. B'nei shvachos. Okay, that's Nun Zayin Aleph. All right, let's keep on moving. All right. Kamash one below. Gufa. Rav Nachman. So focus on the words of Rav Nachman. Shmuel even Mila and Tefillah, everything has taken place. I already knew this, but how long is this period of time? 12 months. Rabbi Rav Nachman. So that's a kash Rav Nachman. We know that it says it's only if Tevil did not take place, or then we say Roiken midrasan, that their spittle as well as their tramplings, the din is b'shuk tameh. It's considered to be tameh. The yarmuleh tahar, some say tahar. However, when it comes to Yainon's wine, Gedolim, if we're dealing with older kids, older people, then Oisin Yain Nesach. Katanim ain't Oisin Yain Nesach. Elohin Gedolim, Elohin Katanim, Gedolim Shioidim Betiva, but it's Chachavim, Misham Shameha. They and Godel, someone who understands what idols are. Katanim Sheni Yudin Betiva, it's Chachavim, Misham Shameha. Katanim is, but what do we learn? It's only Molav Lo Tavlu in. Molav Tavlu Loi. Maybe the only time we apply this din is because there was no tefillah yet. But there's meal and tefillah, so then the dinim shouldn't apply. Our answer is tirguma abnei shvachos. Again, maybe the leniency of mol v'tovlu is dafka in a situation of bnei shvachos. However, not by the case of avadim. Havachein katani araykin umidrasan. Sanicham ad yemer tamil ad yemer tamil kamemar hakamashwan avadim dominam bnei shvachos. Ma bnei shvachos gedom hu de oisin yain nesach. It's only when they're the children of maidservants, they can create yain nesach when they're older. Katanim ein oisin yain nesach. Safavadim nami gedolim oisin yain nesach. Katanim ein oisin yain nesach. Lefukim rav diyamer rav tinik ben yomer oisin yain nesach kamash malon diloi. Okay, let's look at question 7. Question 7. We'll see next time. Ad kan.